Well, there's no way to tell how much land has already changed hands in the so-called land grab. And part of the difficulty in pinning down the quantity is there's no agreement on the boundaries of the definition of land grab. So we are still struggling with that. But depending on what kind of definition you're using, it ranges from an estimate of 45 million hectares of land as put forward by the World Bank itself to up to 100 million hectares put forward by others. And they say 70% of which are in Africa. And as we speak, there's still it's underway. And other people would argue that it's not really very much in Africa, but the former the former Soviet Eurasia is also a very big thing. But about 70% of which, and I think there's a consensus on this, 70% of the so-called grabbed lands remains without investments are happening. It's not being, all the promised investments are not yet coming in. So it's more, you can sense a lot of the element of speculation in these things. And the key drivers, of course, are different from food to biofuels to finance companies. And it looks like more than half of all the so-called land deals are actually involving biofuels and not really food. Now, another key finding there is that the key role of central states or national states are so central in this whole process. They are not passive actors, but they are very active actors in that sense. And then there is also a far more diverse kind of players in terms of it's not just transnational capital, but domestic national capitals are all very active there. And the access, the flow is also very diverse. It's not just your north-south traditional access, but it's also south-south and much more complex. However, the whole discussion about land deals is premised on a very simple assumption that all these problems about food and biofuels, energy, have a simple solution, and that solution lies on the existence of global agricultural reserve land, estimated by the World Bank to be somewhere in the minimum 445 million hectares to up to 1.7 billion hectares of land. In that assumption, these lands are marginal, underutilized, underused, and empty lands and vacant lands that they can be taken to produce food and biofuels without harming or undermining local food security of local communities. But what is emerging is that there's actually no lands that fit that profile, that these are empty or unused or something. So somehow most of these lands identified are actually being used by different people, whether or not they are reflected in official censuses or not.